Hi, I'm Anthony Mangano, and welcome to City of Churches. Today is a very special day because it is the completion and the rededication of Annunciation. Today, we're going to go inside and we're going to film. The bishop is here, a lot of different Monsignors and priests, and a lot of people are going to be here today for this special day that Monsignor Jamie has finally completed Annunciation. So come on, we're going to go inside and it's going to be a great episode. Come on. Well, here we are, Monsignor. Finally. It's finally completed. The rededication of Annunciation today.
Right.
How do you feel?
I feel excited. I feel like a kid in Disney World.
Well, because I'm watching you run around. I had to grab you and say, hold him, I got to get him for an interview here.
I go for the fine details, and
yes,
I make sure
know.
everything is done.
Yes, the Lithuanians came here in 1914, and they have been here over 100 years. They all don't live here anymore, but they come back. It's the only place where we have a mass every Sunday in Lithuanian. So they use it as not only a place to come for mass, but use it as a cultural center. They have many different activities, many different celebrations of the independence of Lithuania and different cultural things. So they're ecstatic because they were always living in the fear that the church would close and they would have nowhere to go and they would lose their home. So now they're happy that they know they're going to be here, hopefully for another 100 years.
Everybody loved, the work, what Jamie Giandiello, did, and, everybody invited now, and everybody feel, that God is here. Then we invited to new home, to new church. We like it a lot.
It's so exciting. We've been worshiping here since 1914, and to see the wonderful renovation of the church, it just ensures that we're going to be here for decades to come. So we're thrilled to be here at the rededication of the church today.
I think it's a beautiful church. We're so proud of the work he did, Monsignor, and we're so blessed around here.
No, I know, and it came out, it is amazing. When we finally put this show together from the before and after, we've had it in stages.
And you were here from the beginning.
And I was here, we were up in the rafters, and
We're restoring the church. It's a restoration. The church itself, it will be 150 years old in 2 years. It was completed in 1870. The parish itself was established in 1863, and we're trying to keep as many of the paintings and all of the artwork as possible. It was either restore it or let it fall down, because it was falling down. This is one of the most magnificent churches that we have in the Diocese of Brooklyn. One of the oldest, but also one of the most magnificent. Another reason why I'm doing this is that I'm the pastor of Mount Carmel, I'm the pastor of Annunciation. These two parishes have been the heart of this community for over 100 years. And our community is changing around us. Sure. And I wanted to make sure that the Church of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, the Church of Annunciation of our Blessed Mother, maintains to be and will remain to be the focal point of this community. We may not get the crowds that we had years ago, but we will have people here. And the presence of the church, the presence of Christ will remain the center of this community.
it is amazing. We're going to see what this finally has become. I mean, it's my hat off to you because what you did here, and you're still going. I see you running around. The bishop's going to be here.
He's here already. He's
here
always early.
Well, today's a very exciting day because there's a church that probably should have been closed because it was such in bad repair, that because of the ability to lease some property, we're able to get the money, borrow the money from the diocese, repaying it over time. So we have another church that's actually going to be used by three communities: the Lithuanian community, Spanish-speaking community, and English-speaking, where especially in the evening, we're going to have an evening mass on Sunday for the young people in this area.
The whole beauty of what you did, what your vision was to see this church, to renovate it and bring it back to life. It is amazing. Now, you're going to, the Annunciation and Our Lady of Mount Carmel will become one?
Yes, we celebrate
the rededication of the church, but also the merging of the two parishes into one. And then the bishop will install me again as the official pastor of the new parish.
Way to go. Way
Thank
to
you.
go.
And you know what's so great about this is that we use this as an opportunity to bring all the communities together. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yesterday, we had the 4 different communities, the Lithuanian, Italian, Hispanic, and English community. All the children, I had all the children come and do a tribute and honor the Blessed Mother, because all the different nationalities and different ethnic groups worship Mary in a different way. So I wanted all the other children and the adults to know why during the year certain communities are worshiping and celebrating and the traditions that they do. Now they have a little bit more of an understanding as we pay honor to Mary under the title of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, under the title of the Annunciation. It's all about Mary today.
And we are at the brand new rededicated Annunciation Church right here on City of Churches. We'll be right back.
Jesus ends the gospel today with a nice parable, a story. Jesus told a lot of stories so that people could understand, and maybe we have to go back to that storytelling because we don't seem to understand much else in this world today. It's too complicated. What is really it about? And he uses the parable of a fig tree, a man who planted a fig tree and got no figs. I have that same experience myself. In fact, Monsignor Jamie is the one who gave me 2 fig trees. And they came from Sicily. They were supposed to be the best trees, except that the Sicilian trees don't like the cold. And even though every year I covered it and everything, I did everything, one tree, not even one fig. 8 years. They were free, okay. But it's true, it's a true story. And then I covered it again this year. One more time, I said, one more year you have to bring fruit. Otherwise, I'm digging you up. Take it out. Well, you know, that's a parable like this church. This church is like a fig tree. We're ready to close it. It was falling down. The roof did fall down when they tried to fix it. So this was one of those miracles that it got a new life, that it was able to be renovated, probably better than it ever was, stronger than it ever was. And we see how beautiful it is today as a place of worship for all of God's people. The history of this church. The history of this church is the history of our diocese. One group after another made this diocese strong. It was built by the Germans, was taken over by the Lithuanian people who preserved it, and now it becomes a home for the Spanish-speaking and or also, very importantly, for the newcomers to this neighborhood. These young people that are all around us here. You just walk down the street there and you will see this looks like Times Square. People all over the place, young people. No, it seems like they conquered the problem of death. Nobody's old is here, only young people. And we can't ignore that. We have to deal with the people that are here. We have to evangelize them. This was a real work of love. It took over a year. We had a lot of arguments about it. I was unfortunately intimately involved in all the decisions. That tower up there was to come down because it was too expensive to keep up. And they begged me, the architect and everybody else, oh, it's an historical thing. I said, we can't afford it, sorry. Too much money to fix it. So all of a sudden the price came down. So it was okay, it's there because the price was not what they told me it was gonna be. I said, that's impossible. So again, it's good that the bishop is a little hard-nosed because it does bring prices down. They might have put it on something else, I don't know, but you can't always win every battle. Truly today, we do thank the people who were here worshiping for having preserved this beautiful place of worship. And today we'll see a wonderful ceremony when we consecrate this altar. It's once in a lifetime, usually, that you see an altar consecrated. Because the altar for us is Christ. And I will pour chrism on this altar, just like we pour chrism on the heads of infants when they're baptized, when people are confirmed, when priests and bishops are consecrated. It's that same oil of chrism, and that will be put on this altar. I'll smear it all over because for us, the altar is Christ. Because on this altar, the sacrifice of Christ is made present to us. Monsignor Jamie and others, they will anoint the walls of the church where those candles are placed. Again, making it a sacred place, anointing it just like the bodies of those who are sick are anointed on their hands and feet and foreheads, and so too this church takes on a personality for us. It is a living place, not just a building.
God we
Christ who offered himself for the life of the world. And so we thank God that we've got to this day, that all the work has been done, that this place is so beautiful. And now we join in prayer and that this place will be used by many communities, that it will be a house of prayer for all peoples. As you know, we have combined Mount Carmel Parish and Annunciation Parish into churches into one parish. So there's two churches that belong to one parish, and Monsignor has already been installed as the pastor of Mount Carmel, but now we today make him the pastor of this church. So he has one pastorate, one person in two different places. He's good at that. My dear friends, because I am aware of your pastoral needs and confident of Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello's qualifications for the office of pastor, I now commend to you Monsignor Gigantiello for your new pastor of this newly established parish of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Annunciation of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Greet him with your applause. We got to get the blessing. Gracious God, you have protected your church by providing it with pastors who are the stewards of your word and sacrament. Strengthen our brother Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello as he begins a new ministry among us and helps us to follow your Son, Jesus Christ, who is Lord forever and ever. Amen. Remember, Monsignor Jamie, that you must be a loving father and a gentle shepherd and a wise teacher of your people, so that you may lead them to Christ, who will strengthen you in all that you do.
I'd like first to call up here the ambassador from Lithuania to the United States, Rolanas Kriškūnas. Please come up for a minute and say a word.
Bishop Gigantiello, DiMarzio.
Close enough.
Clearly, I'm overwhelmed. Bishop DiMarzio, Monsignor Gigantiello, miela bendruomenė lietuvių, dear members of this wonderful parish of Annunciation. I'm clearly overwhelmed and very honored to be a part of this wonderful Mass dedicated to Rededication of this wonderful Church of Annunciation. Church was always a very important part of the identity of Lithuanians. No surprise, it was a big part of our culture and always will be a big part of our culture. Church was always at the core of our strive for freedom, for our ability to make our own choices. No surprise, whenever Lithuania's freedom was attacked, church was among the first targets to be attacked too. And no surprise that in the darkest hour, the hope of freedom for free Lithuania was finding a shelter in church. And when our language was attacked, our language was finding a shelter in church. The bond between Lithuanians and church is very strong and tested. And the local community in New York City of Lithuanians have a very deep roots. Those roots predate United States. And the community, the deeper roots of the community are, the deeper their attachment to the church. And I know that the hearts of Lithuanian community were singing today. And I'm sure the hearts of Lithuanian community will be singing every time they will visit church to speak to God. So I would like to finish by thanking Bishop DiMarzio, in particular you, and Monsignor Gigantiello, and all who contributed to the renovation of this vast, wonderful church and this wonderful parish, to keep it tight together. And I'm very sure we'll be seeing so many faces in many, many days in the future. Thank you so much, and I'm really appreciating being invited here.
I tell you, when I walked into this church, you know, and I know many of you have walked into it for the first time and others have seen it, haven't seen it in many, many years. It is so beautiful. But really, what struck my heart was seeing this church filled with so many people. Bishop, I don't know when the last time that this church was filled with this many people. And I remember when you installed me 2 years ago, you say, you know, the church buildings are one thing, but filling the pews are another. This is just the start. I said that many of the people in this neighborhood, they called them the leftovers, but I told you, I'm a chef. I do great things with leftovers, and we pray that this church continues to be filled. This renovation probably is one of the ones that I am most proud of, and I know that conceit is not, it may be a sin, but I am proud of this beautiful church, and I am proud that it is filled. My prayer is that we will fill it each and every Sunday. Not like this, but little by little. So I want to thank you for that. I have to thank in a very special way Bishop DiMarzio for taking the time for being here today, but also for enabling me to do what I do in the diocese, in the parish, and for believing in me that I could take on a project like this and bring it to completion. So Bishop, thank you for all that you do. I appreciate it. But most of all of our present and past parishioners, because without you, we wouldn't need this church. So you have stood here throughout the years. You are a vital presence in this community, and we want to stay here for another 100 years. And also all of you for coming out. We know we have had many friends, many visitors that have come to celebrate with us, because whenever we do anything in God's name, it is a cause for a celebration. So thank you for that. How great is our God? How great is our God? Thank you all very much.
So here we are, we're right outside Annunciation Church here. It's been rededicated by the bishop, and you can see everybody piling out here. It's amazing. We got the NYPD band here.
This was a magnificent experience. The church is just so beautiful. Thank God for Monsignor Jamie's great work in renovating.
Like I said in church, it's beautiful, but to see the church filled made it much more enjoyable and beautiful.
I got to tell you, it was absolutely beautiful. I was up in the rafters there
The
watching it.
choir?
Yeah, very
Oh,
hot
you were
up there.
up there before.
I was up there before. It's amazing how everything turned out. This is a great turnout. This is a great testament to what you did here.
Thank you, thank you.
Now-
I want to see it filled every Sunday.
You will. Go
my
do what
goal.
you got to
Thank
do.
you,
God
thank
bless you. I know
thank
you're going to go.
Thank you.
Look at that, Monsignor Jamie. How do you like the church?
I love the church. It's beautiful.
It's amazing, right?
Beautiful. They did such a great job.
Did you have a good time today?
Yeah.
It was a great thing, right? This church is beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, kid. You're a good guy. Well, that's it from Annunciation Church here at the City of Churches. And as always, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter. You can write into us. I'm Anthony Mangano. Thanks so much for watching, and God bless you.